Hey, Chicago Bears fans. The Bears were just linked to an absolute battering ram. It's a player I just absolutely love. I wanted to get on here and talk about him. And we're looking at Ben Johnson saying a few things when he took over the team, right? He said it was really well stocked. He said he expects to compete and win immediately. Our mission, straight from him, our mission starting this spring is to win and win now. Now, with all the talk about the trenches, yes, we will fix the trenches. Yes, we will prioritize that. There's something that's being lost in a big way, in my opinion, and this is the way that we should follow the Lions' blueprint. We need to run an effective dual back system. And I'm saying it can be done while not using cap space and not interfering with the offensive line revamp whatsoever. The guy I'm talking about is running back Cam Skattebo. There's a few moments in college football season that were super electric this last year. I can't think of one better than when Arizona State running back Cam Skattebo, he put together a game for the ages against Texas, and this was in the college football quarterfinals. I don't know if you remember this, but let me refresh you. Skattebo's final line in that game, 284 yards of total offense, 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 passing, and that includes 143 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and paired with 8 receptions for 99 yards in a 39-31 double overtime loss. The guy pretty much just put his team on his back. The game did wonders for his draft stock, but now he's projected as a 3rd or 4th round pick. That's a great spot for the Bears to select him. Maximum value in our 2025 NFL draft. And his stock isn't as high as his production. And I think that's largely because the guy doesn't fit the NFL prototype for a bell cow running back. Doesn't have high-end speed. Isn't the most athletically gifted player. But there's one thing that he does really, really well. Kind of looks like a modern Mike Allstott. I can almost hear the ESPN highlights from back in the day. But this guy does this well. He thrives on strength. He absolutely bounces off defenders, and he also trucks them into the turf. This guy's a Chicago Bears kind of player. And Bleacher Report's Dame Parson, he called Skattebo a bigger and more physical Kieran Williams. This is during his pre-draft evaluation. That's a pretty nice comparison. Williams, NFL All-Pro in 2023 with the Rams. He's rushed for over 1,100 yards in each of the last 2 seasons, and that's a stretch in which the guy has scored 31 touchdowns. He continues. Skattebo is a tough, gritty, physical runner. He projects in the NFL as a rotational running back, incredible motor, and a desire to continue moving forward. His value as a receiver and blocker will ensure that he sees the field. He also fits this offensive mold that Ben Johnson likes. He does the dirty work. He's a really good pass blocker and looks like the perfect fit in a dual back system, especially when you have a home run hitter like DeAndre Swift. So let's get to DeAndre Swift. We don't really have a right complement for him, right? In fact, I'm going to argue that the hierarchy between the two players, I think it should be flipped. And I'm going to go to SI.com to kind of illustrate this. Just a really good article on how quickly Ben Johnson could actually turn around the Chicago Bears. So let's get into this. Bears fans, right? We've been here before. Why should we believe Ben Johnson? Why should we believe that he can turn around the Bears really quickly? We're going to get the quarterback situation right. I think we're in agreement on that. At least we should be. The pieces are pretty much in place offensively. We've got the ability to fully overhaul this offensive line in free agency, plus through the draft. Skattebo has in no way hinders our ability to do so. On top of that, tons of cap money to spend. I believe we're in the top 6. But there's a way to do it while using the draft picks we have responsibly. Drafting ASU's Cam Skattebo, looking at him a little more detail, very similar runner to David Montgomery. Absolute perfect fit to pair with DeAndre Swift. This guy runs with so much power. In 2025, once again, he's projected to be drafted in the 3rd round of the NFL draft at the very most. Some mock drafts have him going to like the Chargers, the Browns, the Bears. Teams hungry for a running back at that spot are going to really target him. One of the best rushers in college football history. I think that's very clear. rushed for 1,711 yards and 25 touchdowns, 605 receiving yards his senior year. He's a physical runner. He can be a 3-down back in the NFL for sure. He's also a dependable receiver out of the backfield. That's something that Ben Johnson needs. He also consistently makes plays. Just a challenge for defenses to bring down. And I guess staying with Swift as a starter and Roschon Johnson as the number 2 is a possibility. But instead, how did things happen in Detroit? That's what I really want to get into. Let's focus on their running back. Well, they really experienced a running back changeover. It's really underrated part of the process. I think it's vitally important to illustrating what the Bears should do. Let's just look at what the Lions did. They made the switch at running back, and this could directly reflect where the Bears go in this draft or even free agency, because DeAndre Swift, he went from splitting carries almost evenly with Jamal Williams in 21 to only 99 carries in 22, and then his load moved up to 262 carries. That's Jamal Williams. He ended up moving up to 262. Swift kind of became a backup, but that's before they had our guy, David Montgomery. So I'm not saying this is what they do with Swift in Chicago. Absolutely. What happens remains to be seen. But if they did, they need to require their main running back threat in a year when the draft and free agency, tons of options. I think Skattebo is the best option. By the time Johnson left, they got rid of by the time Johnson left, they had Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery now. Then Gibbs, he got more carries this year due to Montgomery's knee, but they went deeper into the playoffs in 2023 with Montgomery as the lead back, the strong truck guys over guy as the lead back. It was really beneficial for this offense. And the Bears, if they want to replicate what the Lions have done in the last few seasons, Skattebo, great option. Price is right in the 3rd round. Why else should we believe Ben Johnson? Dan Pompei, he said it well, and I'm going to kind of close with this. What can the Bears expect from Ben Johnson? Some things that stand out from my time around him and the Lions: he's low on ego, but big on analytics. He thinks creatively. He's going to emphasize the run game. He's going to emphasize protections. Johnson will have a vision for what he wants to do with Caleb as well. And it just kind of from Tom Pelissero, and this is why I really feel like this quarterback situation is going to be fixed. It's a dream hire for a lot of people, from the front office to the McCaskies to Caleb Williams, who now gets one of the foremost offensive minds in the NFL working for him on a daily basis. Looking at their offensive turnaround in detail, seeing if this rapid change could really happen for us is really fruitful. All sorts of indicators. The Bears are going to be patient. A 5-year contract for both Johnson and GM Ryan Poles. But I'm tired of being patient. 7 last place finishes in 11 years. I don't want to just fix the offensive line. I want to follow this Lions pattern. I want to follow what Ben Johnson really, really wants to do, but I don't want to waste all our cap space doing it. I don't want to spend money on like Aaron Jones or bring in some used up free agent, somebody who's high priced, overpriced as a running back. I think Cam Skattebo is a perfect fit for what Ben Johnson is want to do in this offense. And you guys let me know what you think. I think he's perfect. I'm sure some of you might answer otherwise, and especially if we get rid of, if Ian Cunningham leaves for the Jaguars, I think it's very evident that he's going to. We're going to have an extra 3rd round pick as well. So we're able to use the 1st rounder that we have, the 2 seconds that we have, plus a 3rd that we have to really address defensive end, safety, offensive line, a lot of choices. And then still have our cake and eat it to get Cam in here to be our dual threat along with DeAndre Swift. I'll talk to you guys later. Bear down, and see you later.